Hello everyone, this is Margarita with City Gal Papetree. Today I am going to be creating a tag flip. I did put a poll up on the community tab of my YouTube channel to figure out what my next video should be. I did want it to be a Valentine theme, and it looks like many of you who did vote chose the tag flip option. This would be my first tag flip. I think I'm totally over prepared. I have this box here because I have this many tags. They're already cut up, they're mostly in packages, and I thought this would be a really great opportunity to use some of these. I even found this, it's a tag pad. There are 48 tags in here. These are Prima Marketing, Julie Nutting brand, and this is old. It has 2013 as the copyright year, but they've never been used, and every single tag has the same exact pattern. I thought these would be really great to actually glue my pattern paper on the back, and this way what would become the back of the tag is not just plain white. I chose these large ones. I'm gonna be picking some out from here as well, but I chose the large ones because from my understanding of the tag flips, they're normally used as a happy mail or mail swaps, things like that, and I don't participate in those, or I mean, not that I wouldn't, I just haven't. So I wanted to find a different use for my tag flip. I decided that I was going to, since it is Valentine's theme, I was going to use some photos of me and my husband. But I had these wedding photos that I hadn't put in an album yet. Most of them are black and white. So I decided that I'm going to use these for the tag flip. So I like that I have these large tags because these are 4x6 photos, and this way I have enough space on the tag to use for my photos. I guess this is going to be a mini album or tag mini album. I'm not sure what that's called, but if you guys know, please let me know. I'm gonna make a tag flip that also has photos on it. I have that, and then so I'm gonna peek through here and see what I can use from these. These have a pocket here, which would be great because then I wouldn't have to create a pocket, and they're also a good size. So I'm gonna, let me add that there. I'll add a couple of those. I don't know what the usual amount of tags is when you create a tag flip, so I don't know. I'm gonna just grab some stuff and make some stuff and see how it goes, because I've never made one of these before. And like I said, I'm completely and totally over prepared because I don't know what I'm gonna need or what I'm gonna want to use. I did go through my pattern paper and I picked out some patterns that I felt went well together. This is silver. And so I'll be using, these are all so old. This is by Hero Arts. And this is copyright 2000, so that's also extremely old. Let me use those. These are the pattern papers that I chose. They are by Park Lane Papery, and I believe they are the store brand from Joann's. I might be wrong on that, but that's what I think that they are. And I think they're very romantic, they're floral, and they coordinate very well for this Valentine theme. I'm now going to be tracing the larger tags onto the back of the pattern paper that I'm going to use. I could have just measured them, but for whatever reason, I usually don't measure things. I just tend to find, I don't know, this seems to be the longer route, but that's what I chose to do. Just an FYI, the tags are sized at 8.5 by 3.5, and then I cut off the corners and punched the hole in the middle at the top. I repeat that process for all of the tags that I am going to be using. And this is actually quality paper, so thinking I'm gonna leave it just as is. I'm not gonna use these. I might actually use these for another tag flip depending on how this goes, but I think I'm gonna really enjoy this craft project, so I'm gonna save those other ones for another one. I also feel that these are a little bit loud. I show them closer here. So if you look at the pattern closer, it is a little bit busy. And I'm going to be putting other things on there. So for the busiest patterns, which is this one, and this one, I think I'm going to give them a white acrylic wash to kind of tone down the pattern just a little bit. I might also use vellum to tone it down. I'll grab some vellum and just see how I feel about that. And I will be right back. Now, you could use white acrylic paint for this, but I actually decided I'm gonna use this acrylic gesso because I might do a little bit of mixed media, possibly using some stenciling or maybe some watercolor splatters. So I'm gonna use this gesso instead of white acrylic paint, which is what I was thinking of using first. I have grabbed some water in a jar. I have quite a bit of water in there because I want this to be a very light wash. And I'm also going to be using enough gesso so that everything, it's enough for all of my tags. I don't want to have to keep on mixing. I kind of want them to all have the same consistency. Using a flat brush, I start to take some of the gesso and just adding it to the water a little bit at a time until I get the consistency that I am happy with. Right now this has a very milky consistency. It's very thin and runny. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more and then I'm going to begin my wash. If I use this now, I think it's almost not even gonna show. You can see it's extremely light, so that's why I'm gonna add a little bit more acrylic gesso to my water. I'm gonna apply the gesso with very even strokes, and I'm just trying to get nice full coverage all over the tags. Now I just want to show you the difference here. So you can see the one on the left is the one that I did the wash on. The one on the right is the original. I still want it to be a little bit more toned down, so I'm gonna give it one more coat. And here it is with the second coat. So this one has 2 coats of wash, and this is the original. So I like this very much. What I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna put the wash on both. I'm going to put vellum over this and see, you know, if that will tone it down as well in just a different way. I have some vellum here by Graphics. It is translucent vellum, and I'm gonna use this to tone down some of the other sheets and then give it also just another nice, you know, texture. So this is the wash and that's the vellum. So it tones it down. It's like the same amount, I think, just different texture. So this I can also do some splatters on now, which I am going to be doing with the white. I really like that. I would love to stitch this, but my sewing machine is out of commission right now, so I'm not able to use it for this. I might do some hand stitching though, because I think that would be really pretty, and this could even become like a shaker. As I was thinking of using this as a shaker with the vellum paper, it came to mind that I could also use tulle. So I also got some tulle that I had. This is a very light pink, and I think this coordinates very well. And then I also have this like cream colored tulle as well. So I brought that, and I found some crepe paper, which I'm sure I can incorporate in some embellishings. I'm bringing back in my fully dried, washed out tags, and I'm gonna do some splatters on them. Using the same flat brush that I used previously to paint them and the same watered down white acrylic gesso, I just add some random splashes along each of the tags. Then I grab this piece of foam that it's actually to wash or clean off my stamps, and a T-ruler and this poker tool, and I poke holes along the tags that I'm going to be covering with the vellum, and I poke the hole half a centimeter apart all around the edges of the tag. I'm poking the holes both through the tag as well as the vellum. Once I finish poking all those holes, I am going to hand stitch some threading throughout the entire edge of the tag. It is now the next day that I started these tags, and I just want to show you guys what I'm up to here. As you can see, I used embroidery thread instead, or embroidery floss, to stitch them closed. On this one, I think I stitched around the hole. This one I left it without the stitch. Both of them look fine. I did fill these two in with some contents. This one has like really large sequins, And then this one's got smaller sequins. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this tag now and sew it up, and I'll be done with those. The contents that I'm going to be using are a variety of sequins, and I use this set of tweezers to help me keep the pocket open while I insert all of the sequins. And then once that's done, I go ahead and close up pocket by stitching up the rest of the tag and then tying the loose ends together. So now I'm just going to take all these extra pieces of floss and I'm going to tie them together, and this will complete my tag. Alright, I just needed to bring in the baby monitor because the baby's napping. You can see him there. He's so cute. But he'll be up soon, and then I'll have to stop doing real-time recording. Then I will have to do voiceover again. Okay, so I really like that. That's cute. And it's got little hearts, so very Valentine theme. Just trying to shake it, loosen them up a little bit. They seem to have all gone to the bottom, but that's okay. These are all my tags right now. These are some of the punches that I used to make some of the contents here. There's some small hearts. Not sure if you can see that there. Sorry, I'm gonna change my whole camera setup because I feel like my lighting is always really bad. But yes, here's some bigger hearts from this Fiskars punch. And then this is, I think, Martha Stewart. This is a Martha Stewart punch. And it's got all those little hearts. Use those to make some of the contents. All of the other contents were just sequins that I had in my stash, older sequins. And this is how I keep my sequins organized. I have a whole set of these test tubes that I actually ordered from a science factory. Here's just some of the floss that I used. These are Prism, the brand. I might have more than one brand in here, but that's what I used. I'm going to do some stenciling on this. Pulled out some Faber-Castell stencils here. Here's my texture paint. Well, it says texture paint, but it's really a paste. Anyway, this is by Plaid Folk Art, and it is Sand Dollar. That's the color. I am going to pull in a spatula and then some of the paste. Let me move this out of the way. And I'm not going to cover the whole thing. I'm not looking for full coverage. I'm just looking for some texture. Okay, and I'll put this aside to dry. This actually just dries on there, and I find that the more you use it, the thicker and sturdier it gets, because it is just craft paper that they like laser cut these onto. So, you know, you can just let that dry on there. It doesn't hurt it at all. I repeat that process with the other tag and stencil. And again, I'm not looking for full coverage. I just want to add some texture to these tags. These I am going to, because it seems like for these tags I'm pulling out all my old supplies, and I hope you're working with me. If you are, definitely pull out all your supplies, your older things that you haven't used in a while, and incorporate this, your older supplies in this. I think this is a great opportunity for that. In my stash I found these, and these are really old. I don't even know what the brand is because it just says metallic rub-ons. Like, it doesn't say anything else, and I got this from someone, so I don't know where they got it from. It does say Stamp La Jolla. Maybe that's the brand. I'm gonna use the gold and white for the green, and I think this cameo pink for the other tag. I'm just gonna use my finger for this. And that's what it says you should use, just your finger. So yeah, I'm just gonna add a little bit of color. I'm not looking to color it entirely. I'm just adding a little bit of shadow. Oh, I don't really like how that feels on my finger. Maybe I should use something. It's like really chalky.
So I continue to rub the color onto the tag along the stenciled paste, and I'm not looking for full coverage here either. I just want to add some shading, some dimension, and a little bit of shine. This one is probably my favorite. It's very pearly, and it did turn out really nice.
I don't know if I need to seal this. It doesn't look like I do. Oh yes, it says spray with matte fixative to seal if necessary. This is the fixative that I used. It's by Krylon. It's crystal clear acrylic coating, permanent protective. This is a gloss finish, but you can't really tell because, you know, you're spraying from far away. It's now finished and dried and should be permanent. Yep. Well, I don't see any pink coming off of my fingers, so we're gonna say it's permanent. I'm going to punch out a bunch of reinforcements to add a little bit more color. I'm thinking gold because this has gold and I like how that looks, so I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna use this adhesive glitter paper. Again, as you can see, I buy things and I rip everything out of the packaging and I don't keep the packaging. So I never know what brands are. I'm really bad about that. I should probably start doing that, right? I do have this reinforcement punch by We Are Memory Keepers that I'm gonna use for this purpose. I find that this is a little bit tricky. It doesn't have the opening at the bottom like most punches, so I can't really see. I want the most out of my paper, so I want to be able to see where I'm punching it, so I kind of turn it this way and just it's hard to tell, but cross my fingers and and then I punch it out. Because this is sticky, I know it might it's sticky paper, I know it might give me a hard time. And yep, I cut off the edge, so that's not even, it's not even a full circle. Let's try that again.
Punch out just several of these reinforcements from the gold paper. Because the paper has adhesive on it, I have to wiggle around the puncher so that they come out more cleanly. And you can see baby's up, so I'll have to stop working for the moment and then return to work later on.
For these other tags, I'm also going to give these a wash. They are already white, but I want to do some watercoloring on them. So I am going to cover them with this gesso wash so that they will take the watercolor a bit better, and then I won't have to worry about it crumbling the paper or soaking in too much.
I repeat the same process that I did with the previous tags, and just, you know, apply an even coat of the acrylic gesso on both of them, and then I set them aside to dry. Once they're dry, I use these watercolors to color in a ombre type rainbow onto the tag. I'm not looking for anything too technical or special or perfect here. I will be covering these with other embellishments, so I know that they're going to be just a background for the tag itself. So I'm not looking to create any like special like fancy artwork or anything. For the other one, I just smush it onto the paint that's left over on my mat, trying to be careful not to get it muddy. I bring in my Inca Gold metallic rub and some dilution sprays, as well as this Recollections shimmer spray, and I also bring in some water and then a palette and a pipette. This palette used to carry some chocolates in them, but I saved it for, you know, painting purposes. I drip some of the spray in 3 of the compartments, and then I add some water to them to dilute the pigmentation to make it lighter, because the pigment is very bright and dark. Then using the pipette, I suck up some of the spray, the liquid, and then I drip it onto the tags. For the pink one, I just lift up some color, squirt it on there, and just let it drip down. And I mostly just use some splatters for the other remaining colors. With the Inca Gold, I don't get this on film, but I do spread it all along the edges of the other borders of the tags to give it a nice golden frame. I'm now going to start cutting up this patterned textured paper to use as one of my tags. And I just cut it down to what I had there. It was a piece of scrap. I cut off the corners. I cut off one corner, use that piece to measure the other side and cut it so that they're even, and then I punch a hole at the top. I then bring in my first watercolored tag, and using a Polska acrylic paint marker, I paint on a border along the edge and then some dots all around. With a Sharpie marker, I sketch a rough line along the edges of my textured tag to give it a nice frame and some more detail. Now I begin to add embellishments, and well, I'm going through all of my little ephemera and trying to choose what I want to decorate my tag with. I do bring in the crepe paper, and I add some double-sided tape onto one side of my tag, and I start to scrunch up the crepe paper and stick it onto the double-sided tape to create a ruffled look. Then I cut off the excess, and then I clean up the sides so that it's nice and even. With the piece that was left over, I add double-sided tape to the bottom and the side, and then I stick that to the back of my tag to create a pocket. I cut off some of that extra crepe paper so that it's not so bulky. And then I varnish the edges of that piece of paper where the tape is, and I round the corner. And so now it looks like a little folder. So I'm going to continue to try and go through my ephemera to decorate this tag. For dimension, I use this foam sheet. I cut it down to little strips, and then using double-sided tape, I stick it down to the back of the ribbon ephemera piece, and then I adhere that onto the tag. And so you'll see it gives a dimension, just not too much dimension. I didn't want to use foam tape because I felt that would be too much. And I continue just grabbing pieces from my little dish there and adding things that I feel go together, and I'm not adhering anything right away. I want to make sure that I'm happy with what I've chosen before I make it permanent. And once I do like something, I do go ahead and stick it down with tape or glue. I had a lot of these little circle punch outs that I cut out from scrap paper, and I tend to keep them, and I use them for random projects like this. In just a moment, I'm going to let you in on a little snippet of what's actually going on in my environment around me as I create. And this is the usual sounds, all the usual sounds that are happening behind me.
What? Mommy.
What?
Guess what?
What?
This is the sound of Toad. Of the game of the Toad.
What Toad?
Of the game of Toad. Like he walks.
Oh.
Like this. And he has to try and get on the bag.
Oh.
I hope you guys enjoyed that little snippet. So I'm going to continue to go through the tags and just decorate them and add embellishments and taping and gluing things onto them. And I'm going to play some music for you guys so you can enjoy the process. And I will go into further detail towards the end of the video on each of the tags that I've created, including the photo tags.
I'm gonna move on to the next one, so I'm gonna work on this one now. I don't even know how long this video is gonna be. I'm gonna try to cut it down as much as I can, but this is taking me a really long time. But that's because I did a bunch of stuff to my tags. If I had kept my tags just simple without like doing the wash or the sewing and the shakers and all that stuff, it would have been just you know, paste and done. I also took this little die cut that I had, and I added a strip of paper that I punched a hole in and then put an eyelet on. You see that? And then I added these little strings that I had laying around. They're textured. They're actually from a piece of canvas paper that I had. It was a green canvas paper, and I put that there. I might add a charm to this. I'm not sure just yet, but yeah, I'm thinking of using this on this tag. I'm gonna go ahead and just work on this one. I will be speeding this up because I'm not sure how long this is gonna take me, and my baby's napping right now, so I might have to stop abruptly. All right, so we are ready for the tag flip reveal, and this is the finished product. I'm not gonna lie, this took me like a week. I did take my time. I only did a little bit each day because I was quite busy. Baby's awake, you might hear him behind me. He has some toys, but he gets bored really fast. And actually, he's happy. He's just making noises. So I want to go ahead and show you guys what I made. So this is the tassel for it. And I love this. I have a bunch of supplies to make these, but I haven't actually made any. I just haven't had much time to play around with all of my stuff. But I did make this for the mini album. If you want a process video for that, let me know. I didn't record this, but I did, I mean, it kind of came together pretty quickly anyway, but I wanted to include all of the colors that were in the tag. So there's like pinks, blues, yellow, pretty much every color of the rainbow, because the tag has every color. But you can see, so there's ribbon and more ribbon, there's some trim, here's another like lace trim with pearls, and some more of these, I forget what you call these, like fiber trim or eyelash trim, I don't know what you call those, eyelash ribbon, I don't know. But some of those, and then I also added charms on it. So we've got some beads over here, there's some charms right here, and I like how that jingles. And then let's see, here's another one that I use on the inside of the album as well. Here's another one that just says love on it. See that? And I think that's it. Yeah, so here's the completed product. This is the first tag. So I'm using this one as the first tag, and I have here just a die cut that says love, a little enamel heart, a circle punch, a dragonfly sticker, and a doily from Stampin' Up. And so as you saw earlier, this is one that I did watercoloring on, and then used my Polska paint marker to just draw some white dots all over it. And then on the back, I did use some pattern paper, and I added a little heart that looks like it's hanging off the branch with a little bow. It says Love Day, since this is a Valentine theme. Next here is this one, which was the first one that I made. Okay. Because we rock. Every moment is magical when I'm with you. XOXO. Oh, bless you. And then on the back of that, I have, I made a little pocket. There's a little envelope die here that just says to my Valentine. And I'm going to be writing like little notes in there for my husband. I am going to be showing this to him on Valentine's Day. I took this camera ephemera piece that was in the Carousel collection, I think. I don't even know who that's from. Maggie Holmes probably. And then here's another punch that I added. I sewed a pocket onto this. You can see that I stitched it on. And then there's just a little note there. It says I love you with all my heart. And again, this is for my Valentine. So there'll be all these like little notes and stuff in the pockets for him to see. And then I also added charms to the tassel that was on the camera. Here's a little butterfly, because I did use butterflies throughout. These beads spell out love. See? Oh, my E is backwards. I am not changing it. See? And then I have here some more beads and a little bow charm. Okay. And I like that. That's cute. Okay. Here's the first of the photo tags. And this one, it says start here. This was actually a celebration for my birthday that year. I don't remember how long ago this was, but I should. But it was like a few days after he had proposed to me. So I am super happy and super clingy. And yeah, so I like this. I put the tulle around it so it's almost like it's hugging us. And then I tied it in a bow here, and I made its own little tassel here. See that? With some rickrack and a charm with another like mini rickrack hanging from that. And then I use these little mini paper clips to hold the photo in place, because it is loose. It's not glued down or at all. It's just I just slid it right in there. And I'll be writing notes like in the back of all of these tags. And this is a little bag that I used here that I made a tag. I punched a hole out of it. I added some washi tape, a sticker, these little heart punches, and then inside is a tag with a photo taped onto it. This was back in 2003. Yeah, we've been together for 20 years now. So there's that one. $20 years meaning like since 1998, not 2003. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Here's another one, another special photo. This was actually in front of the World Trade Center, which is why I wrote WTC there in 2003. And there's a little like a pocket here just in the middle. I put tape on the top and bottom, and I left just a little space for the card to go in and out. And then there's like some journaling on the back. This is the one that I did the stenciling on with the texture paste, and then did the rub-on, the metallic rub-on with. And it looks like my battery is about to die, but I'll try to get through this. This is one of the ones with the shaker elements inside, and this is also a doily from Stampin' Up. And this is, you know, another just old photo of us with some hearts, love, and here's a little paper clip. I like those. I use them throughout as well. And then this one was kind of elaborate. I don't know why I went through all this, but anyway, I like how it turned out. So there's a little the little banners there, and then I sewed these on. I glued them, but I didn't think they would stay, so I did add some stitching. Not sure if you can see that along, you know, the letters to keep them in place. And then you can lift this up, and there's a picture of us. And then I stapled Velcro. I didn't want to go through the glue. It doesn't come with adhesive. And then there's a little like note on the inside. And so that's that one. And there's also writing on the back. And then this is probably like my favorite. And I used a tool to cover it to make the shaker element, to, you know, make it a shaker. I put the wording up on foam, and I added all those sequins to it, and then I glued the pattern paper to the back to cover up all of the loose tulle that was back there. I stapled it. I didn't want to do any more stitching. It just takes too long, but you can barely even see them, so that's not I don't have a problem with that. Here's the next one. I tore the paper to look like the Polaroid shape, and then I just wrote my love on the bottom with some word stickers, and then used the black doily on the top and bottom, and added some hearts, and then I'll be writing on the back of that. Here's the next one, and then this one is actually like a double tag. So this one is also, I put this like trim, I tied it around. It's not glued, it's just tied on there so it can wiggle up and down, and then it's just holding this other tag in place. So see, that's underneath, and then this photo comes out, and there's this is actually a tag, but this is taped onto there to give it a little background pattern. Alright, and I like that. I love how that came out. So these two are kind of like a pair there, and this is the other shaker tag. And here's another one. These are paper clipped on there. They do come off, but they'll be on there. It says the best is yet to come, because this is still very early in our relationship. And yeah, there's some rickrack glue to the bottom, some stickers, some chipboard stickers. I think these stickers are all Paige Evans. And I will try to include some names at the bottom. Oh, there's also some charms on there. On the paper clip, I added some charms. It says love. And little arrows, one for him, one for me. And here's some more. This one, I actually stapled this on there because I know that it doesn't have adhesive, and I didn't really want it to all stick down. I kind of like that it's kind of dimensional, and it's, you know, it moves around and stuff. Well, it doesn't move around, but, you know, it's not glued down. I like that. And then we've got some chipboard stickers here. This one, I wrapped the sides of the photo to the back of the tag, and then I just covered that with some strips of paper and did some journaling on the back. Then this is the last one, so this is how it ends, and it just says Happy Love Day. I definitely didn't have space to put a Valentine's Day, but you know, it's one and the same. So I hope you enjoyed this. I had so much fun creating this tag flip, this mini album tag flip. I'm still not sure what it's called. I didn't even bother looking it up. I had so much fun with this. It did take a lot longer than I would have liked, but it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, it was just a project I was working on for a few days, and that's just how I see it. If you have any questions, please include that in the comments. I try to explain everything that I did, but I may have left something out. I mean, like I said, I've been recording for a few days now, this process. So yeah, if I leave anything out, just please let me know and I will try and answer all of your questions. If there's any particular process that you want to see more closely, let me know and I will try and make a video of that.
If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next one.